We are arriving in the now, and we're breathing in to the center of our heart today. Inside that sacred flame, we have our 0 point. And it is in this 0 point we can go in and touch up on the divine center. So inside every sacred geometry, of which one you are a sacred geometry, there's a center. Even in a circle, you can see the center point. In any square, blah, 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 you can see the center. Even in the ether element that we were touching on and playing with the last class, that is represented by the dodecahedron. Even in that sacred geometry, there is a center. So as we are allowing for ourselves to center, in the center, we are directly connected into our truth, into that divine spark, into the 0 point where we can understand in a very extraordinary way if there is a certain pattern existing in your life. And some patterns are, of course, wonderful. We can inhale and we can exhale. There's a morning, there's a midday, there's afternoon, and there's evening. Thank God we have a pattern like that. But then there's also habitual patterns that has been created on many, many layers. And as we start to become aware of those patterns and how they exist on every possible layer, then we will have a tendency to fall in to that samskara, to that pattern, to that habit, to that train of thought. Now imagine we are made out of pattern. We have our center point, the heart. We have all of our chakras. We can do any system. There are many systems of energy points that can be as a pattern. We can do the 7 point, we can do 13 chakras, the more galactic, 5 point, 3 point chakras. Other patterns could be becoming aware of the 72,000 nadis inside your body, the little patterns where the nerves, where the fascia meets. And imagine that those patterns are kind of becoming more spacious around themselves. Now we have the physical body. Around it, we have the etheric body, where we hold specific patterns for this physical body avatar. Okay, every morning, imagine if you would wake up with the different color hair or different color eyes, it would be kind of like a different colored anything. It would be, or shape or whatever, which we kind of are, but with a drastic unpattering, that might be a little bit severe for us. So physical, etheric, then we have the mental body. Imagine, what are some mind patterns that you have? Do you have positive patterns that reinforce you? Or can you be in that reflective awareness where you can observe your patterns of your mind? And if you notice something that doesn't feel great, is that pattern built in your body? Is it built in your mind. Okay. What caused that pattern in your mind? Is it from the emotional body? It's something that happened. Is it something that's being shown to you? So, physical, etheric, mental, emotional, or spiritual patterns. Now, think about this. Are the pattern that you have discovered or noticed, since you guys are somewhat uh, experienced meditators and practitioners, you have discovered a pattern, that means that you're ready to acknowledge it. And with the acknowledgement and a little intentionality and a little imagination and using a little bit of sprinkles of your mystical self, you are ready to let that pattern transcend. And then we look back and see, wow, I managed to break that pattern. Now, within the pattern, there's always a sense of consciousness and a sense of energy. Okay. So, in order to have consciousness of the pattern, you can then bring up energy to transcend that pattern. It does take some energy, it does take some dancing around it, trying from different angles, and being playful of how to break that pattern. And like Duke says, with Saturn, humor is the best way to break through a pattern. Okay, so in our beautiful physical avatar, this is our playground for this life. Go into the center of your heart, where there is an immovable consciousness, the Shiva center, Shiva Shakti. Those are the balances that we want to play with. Now, Shiva is this immovable center in our most center of our body. Now, from the crown of the head, from our pineal gland that absorbs the light ether we talked about, or just the light, there's a straight line in the center of your body called the central channel, which is different than the kundalini, which is different than the energy on the front of the spine, and different than the energy on the back of the spine. But this center line, this is the core energy, the central axis. This is your energetic circuit. This is where we work with the energy to transcend, transmute, and acknowledge and play with the patterns that we want to change. The Shiva is always going to be constant. That is the divine point in the center of your body, surrendered by the central axis, which is Shakti. Shakti is the playful energy that dance around the center of the creator point. The Shiva is the center, Shakti is the matrix, the one who can change things, the mother, the creatrix, the creator that creates from collapsing a wave of information into a crystallization of an energy in your body. And don't you agree that a thought pattern becomes an energy, a vibration that you are holding? But since you have consciousness and divine consciousness, you can dance around your central axis within your body and awaken and transcend and crack the codes today of your pattern so that you're not completely a victim of certain patterns, but instead turn it around. Hey, I like to become aware of my patterns. First, just to soothe my soul. I'm becoming aware of the patterns that I cherish, that I love, that I acknowledge myself for all the boons, all my spiritual gifts, all my beauty, all my liveliness, all the things that are happening around me that gives me comfort. I acknowledge those patterns in great gratitude. Then we want to pull to the center of the center of the center of our beingness and feel the internal central channel. And then we can feel the movements around the channel, starting with that which is closest to the heart, our divine energy. Can we balance and explore the patterns from the center point, from the Shiva consciousness, and then play with this creatrix, the Shakti energy, and collapse the waveform a little bit different so that we have a new experience. Even if it's the tiniest thing, it is tremendously powerful because as you start to bring your consciousness in and collapse the waves of consciousness, of light, of sacred geometry, of patterns, of numbers, of thoughts, of feelings, of understanding, of playfulness, of spiritual guidance. And why not ask and command and demand in love and appreciation to invite your guides, angels, teachers, masters, your spiritual team, and say, hey guys, I'm recognizing a pattern. How lovely. I'm breaking the pattern. And so it is. Can you entertain me and show me new ways of seeing the light of the day? Now let's feel and allow for our center line inside your body to blossom now up into the crown of the head, where you open the receptors like a thousand petal lotus, like the stem and the flower blooming, and let the rain of good information, of fun, of blessings pour into you, of abundance, of knowing, of gift, and let it enter your field and let it draw in to the center of your central channel and land inside and then go. Hit it. Feel a little lighter, feel a little brighter. Notice how the waves of energy is breaking into you and creating a new consciousness because you have become aware that you need both Shiva and need both Shakti to create that which you want to create. Imagine the stable, sacred geometry of a pyramid, of a tetrahedron. It has a straight line down the middle. If that one line crumbles, so does the pyramid. So your straight line inside of you with a blossoming understanding of receptivity makes you stable and strong and available to break the pattern that you like to break. So imagine your body is a beautiful pattern. Your body is the playground. It's what vibrates and magnetizes towards you that which you like to experience today. Feel the awareness of your divine center. Create your central channel. Allow for the crown to open to receive new ways of seeing what you would like to see today. Look for it in different ways. Just breathe into this spaciousness. Maybe you feel a little more erect. Maybe you feel a little more playful. Maybe you feel a little more spacious and open. And maybe you remind yourself that you are the creator of this moment and this moment and this time and space. So let's see with the new eyes and let's hear with those inner clear ears. Let's balance our eyes and our ears, our Shiva and our Shakti, and allow for a beautiful surprise and a gift and a new pattern to blossom today. Take a breath in and exhale it out. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And so it is. Okay. Have a beautiful day.